Okay, guys, today I'm speaking about a pretty touchy topic in today's climate. Again, I haven't prepared any notes. This is just my raw thoughts on everything. Me talking about looks, and this is coming from someone who's pretty average. Looks do matter. Don't get me wrong. I don't feel like that is a hot take. I feel like a lot of people know by now. This has been proved by research, all the metrics, all the statistics that you can think of, that appearance is extremely important. However, I feel like social media is so extremely damaging, and this is coming from someone who consumes a lot of social media, who watches a lot of TikTok, and unfortunately has kind of dabbled in a lot of the niches that are being discussed a lot more widely now, like looksmaxxing, etc. I just feel like it's gotten a bit too far. And before people attack me, right, I know the looksmaxxing community, the BP community is probably going to make fun of me, but I do just want to say this. I don't think there's anything wrong with improving your looks, but I feel like when I see kids in comment sections, and by kids I mean, especially below 18 or even 18, I see them and they're asking, hey, what cycle should I run? What peptide should I use? Oh, I'm in a calorie deficit. There's nothing wrong with any of those things, but at 15, I didn't even know what dieting was. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that kids shouldn't be healthy, but when you're a kid, are we not allowed to live our lives now? I can't imagine these kids comparing themselves to a lot of these looksmaxers who, I'll be honest with you, a lot of them have a really bad relationship, or really bad, I guess you could say, perspective on food, on their body, on their face. They are, I'm sure, constantly body checking, constantly face checking. A lot of them don't even like how they look, and that's why so many of them speak about surgeries and doing a lot of these things. I feel like Clav is a good example. He does say that a lot of the reason why he wants to improve his looks is because he just wants to improve a metric that he knows is very important for doing well in life. However, when you have been told by society that you're already, well above average, to go and promote surgeries and steroids at such a young age, it's just not right. And I just feel bad. Again, I see these 15-year-olds in comment sections sending pictures of their face to these social media people on TikTok, on wherever it may be, and they're asking people to rate them. They're saying, hey, I've been told by my friends I'm a sub 5, which essentially means they are widely deemed to be unattractive. Is this true? And you have other people in comment sections typing away saying that, yeah, you're sub 5, you're not attractive. I'm just thinking, at 15, why would you're subjecting yourself to humility on a level that isn't even healthy. You're getting opinions from people who, again, don't even like how they look, who have such a warped perspective on what looks even are. Because at the end of the day, is it really worth doing all of these things, doing bone smashing, doing steroids at a young age, affecting your hormones, spending all of this money? These people do extreme calorie deficits, they lose so much of their muscle just to get a slim face. It's just not worth it at all. And you realize over time that the more sustainable methods, like building a good amount of muscle, being a decent body fat percentage, and just doing the small things that work, is fine. And I just hate it because I feel like a lot of these influencers are very clearly lying. A lot of them use filters, a lot of them use steroids. They're very dishonest about their status in terms of what their health is like. You see a lot of people who just do what gets clicks, and then the moment that they get the money and the following that they need, they get the buys on their courses, all of a sudden, they were never natural, actually, yeah, by the way, guys, I used filters. I feel like people just aren't thinking about this at all. What you see on the screen is them on their best day. They've just shaved, they've just done whatever. Some of them probably starved themselves a ton. You don't know what's going on. And for these kids to look at themselves on a regular day where, they have school to do, they're so young, like their diet is probably not the best. To compare yourself to a grown adult who is probably using substances that you don't even know about, who probably has funds for things that you probably don't even know about, who is probably dealing with a lot of things that they're struggling with as well, again, their perspective on food, and maybe even drug abuse in terms of steroids and peptides. I heard Clavikia uses something 12 milligrams of retatrutide, which is just ridiculous. I don't know if it's true, but you can't compare yourself to these people. Please, if you are young And this is coming from a 20-year-old. If you're like 15, please just do the basics that work. Eat less. In my opinion, you shouldn't even be tracking calories at a young age. It's just, it can get pretty obsessive, especially when you're young. And I won't even go in a deficit when you're 15 because you're still trying to grow. Just get good sleep, eat healthy most of the time. Again, enjoy your youth because you're burning a ton of calories anyway. You're probably playing a lot of sports. You're probably running around a lot in school. After that, from then on, jobs are so hard to get. You don't know how dormant or how sedentary you're going to be. You don't know how many hours you're going to spend in university studying and not being able to move around. Use all of that time to eat a lot of good food, exercise a ton, and just enjoy the energy that you have, because it can deteriorate over time. A lot of people, there's this thing that's been going around on TikTok, and it's essentially a trend whereby people are speaking about the people who are attractive in high school and how they gain a ton of weight or they don't look great once they come out of high school. And that's nothing to do with being in high school. It's just simply because life just gets different. When you have a job to work and you have an apartment that you have to pay for, and you're no longer in school and you don't have that safety net anymore, you can't focus on your health as much. And so really just enjoying what you have as a young kid and being able to just eat a ton and then just exercise a ton, and you're still growing and you're still seeing all of these changes. Don't take that for granted. Don't do what a lot of these influencers do, doing all these aggressive cuts and then messing up their relationships with food. It's just not worth it. It's going to damage you badly. It doesn't end well, and it's coming from experience that if you have a bad perspective on food, it takes a while to fix. I still haven't fixed it. I've had it since I was around 19. I'm turning 21 soon. It takes a while. Really and truly, don't take any of it for granted. Stop comparing yourself to these influencers, and that's all I have to say.